Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Saglitch, aka Sag. Today, I gotta tell you about the scariest story you've ever heard of. That's right, we're talking about Comcast customer service. Ah! Whew! Already, already getting it off, but it's terrifying. If you ever have to deal with it, for you guys that have Comcast, have to deal with technical support, customer service, anything is terrible. Terrible. Okay, so let me start it off. I have just a heads up. If you guys see me looking over here, I have my computer set up because, guys, I had to take notes that was just how ridiculous this was. So if I look over here for a little bit, I'm reading strictly from the notes. I'm going to do the best I can to kind of give you guys the ability to keep up, see what we were going through. And for you guys that already have Comcast have deal with customer service or technical support, you already have a little bit of sympathy or empathy towards the situation. So with that being said, let's get going into the story. Okay, so with my plan that I had, we paid for the 105 download speed, 105 Mbps being the max that you can get, and an upload of a max of 20. And with us, this household, my wife and I, we run everything off of wireless, so we expect roughly about anywhere between half to 75% of what we actually deal with. And I understand if it's a wireless thing, then it's a wireless thing. I get that you're not going to get the full capabilities of it, but I expect at least a little bit to make me happy. So, with that being said, we realized the last 2 days that the internet, or excuse me, we realized on Thursday that the internet wasn't going full speed. It wasn't up to speed. It wasn't anything like that. Oh, and by the way, your boy looking a little fresh. He had a little 9-year-old's birthday party to go to, my wife's goddaughter. So, yeah, I did change from the black shirt. So, if you guys see it or whatever, it's my Nintendo shirt from Arcade Block. So, but anyway, um, we started noticing on Thursday that we were having trouble. So we called on Friday, thinking that the trouble was just like a short thing. It would be resolved the next day. We realized that we are having trouble on Friday. It got to the point where I couldn't upload, couldn't do anything. The download, like the upload's not really important. Like YouTube to me is a hobby. It's something I do. It's something I bring on that's fun for me. It's like a little hobby for me. But with that being said, the download, the movie streaming, anything like that, that's something that I do every single day. And that's not going to be something that's going to be, that's not going to be harbored because of the fact that it matters. It shouldn't be harbored as is because I pay for it, but it's something that shouldn't be bothered at all. So when I ran a speed test at speedtest.net, a third party thing, it gave me a download of about 3.29 Mbps and then an upload of not even point. It was like 0.97. It wasn't even an upload of one. So good luck getting videos on the internet. Good luck downloading or streaming videos on your devices. Good luck. Not going to happen. So with that being said, we called Comcast, the customer service, and we got this was about 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, thinking that whatever, we were out busy, so we just had the ability to do it. Call them. So we called, and the guy comes on, very thick accent of an Indian, not being nothing has to do with their nationality, anything like that, but it's that's who it was. And he said, this, let me try to help. He wasn't helping us, he wasn't resolving anything. Basically all he did was say that we shouldn't be getting the speeds that we are, and nothing came about it. Then he goes, well, let me transfer you to a supervisor. Usually when you transfer to a supervisor or anyone else, any other department, anything like that, you put down the phone, place it on hold, the music comes on, and then it starts playing, and it takes a little bit of time to transfer to different places. Well, his transfer goes strictly to, he puts the phone down, There's talking in the background that we can hear, but nothing really like there. And then he picks up the phone, completely different voice. It's like, "Oh, hello. I hear you having troubles. I'm trying to resolve them for you. My name is Jonathan. How can I help you?" And the first guy's name was Sebastian. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Not saying you guys give him names, but Sebastian doesn't really sound to me like it was fitting towards his voice. But with that being said, now Jonathan is going to help us. And when I explain, he goes, "Oh, yes, sir." In same voice. The second I said the problem, he goes, "Oh, yes, sir." And the same voice clicked. The same voice from Sebastian and Jonathan. Sorry, guys. You're not going to play this run around game where you fake give me another person. I know how this works. I know when you guys don't want to do your job. And guess what? You didn't. You just tried to play me. With that being said, I hung up on him. I know it's not getting me anywhere, but it wasn't going to get me anywhere anyway. So I hung up on him. I said, "You know what? We'll deal with this in the morning." Up comes a beautiful Saturday morning where a loving, happily married couple is waking up. Birds are chirping. Dog is looking at you smiling. And what is to do for the day? Are you going to enjoy the beautiful weather outside when you're not teaching? Are you going to be going to do stuff that you need to do all week and had to wait till the weekend to do? No. You're going to be on the phone for 7 hours with Comcast. And guys, sorry, the sun over here is going up from upstairs. I'm in the kitchen. It's beaming right in my face. So if it's a little weird, I apologize. Let me scoot back a little bit. That might be better. But with that being said, are you going to get to do what you need to do that you have waited to do all week? Not the case. You are going to be on the phone with Comcast all day. So it started off. I call and I said, "Hey, you know what? This is roughly around 9:30, 9:40. I called. We are talking with the agent. Okay, let me scroll down. First off, I wanted to do the speed test because maybe it's just a one-time thing. Maybe we don't need to call. Speed test comes back 3.2 download, 0.9, 0.8 upload. Got to call. So the first guy I talk with, the agent, is like, we're explaining. It goes through the whole automated message where we need to do something, and we just said speak to an agent. Well, it starts transferring us to an agent, and the guy picking up was already in mid-conversation when we picked up. And he was still talking while it said that the transferred. So he was still talking, and I go, "Hello?" And the guy's like, yes, "Are you there? Are you there?" And I was like, yeah, I'm here." And he goes, "Okay, I'm trying to help with your conversation or your trouble. I'm trying to help come to a solution and blah blah blah." And I go, "Well," I was like, "Sir, I was like, I'm sorry. I think you still think that you're talking to the guy you were previously with. I think that the call transferred or he hung up and you're speaking with me now. This is a different person, different account." He goes, No. I'm trying to help your solution, blah, blah, blah. Give me your name, give me your information." So the guy goes through and gets my information. He asks me my name, verifies my account. He verifies my name, how to spell it, whatever. He asked me for my last 4 digits, which I told him. And he goes, "Well, this isn't matching up to who I'm talking to." And I'm like, "Well, that's because I've told you now multiple times that you're talking to someone different. This is someone completely different. I haven't told you what my troubles were. I haven't told you my account information. So how can you help me with something I haven't asked you to help with?" So then he realized that the person before him hung up and that this is someone else. So he goes through the process again. I understand that they have to verify the account information to make sure that they're talking who they need to be and who's authorized to the account. But once I give them that information, obviously you're not talking to the same person. Just saying, it's obvious. So, after repeatedly telling him that he's talking to someone different, he finally understands and he's confused. We were back and forth. So, I explained to him the issue we were having. He troubleshoots the modem. Nothing gets resolved. Nothing back and forth. He says, okay, give me 1 second. Okay, this isn't working. Okay, okay, 1 second. And again, this is like the fifth time he said, give me 1 second after the same thing he tried. He tried rebooting the modem multiple times to get something different, and it wasn't going to happen. I told him it wasn't going to happen. So the fact of the matter is, I explained to him I'm only getting 3.56 Mbps download and a 0.95 upload, and I pay for something that's supposed to be giving me 105 download and 20 upload, and that's not even 1/20th of what I'm supposed to be getting. So I asked real quick. I was like, whatever your name is, I was like, so if you're giving me 1/20th of what I'm supposed to be getting, are you going to take 1/20th of the bill? Are you going to take $5 for 100 or like a $90 bill? No, you're going to charge me all the money. So I expect getting all the service. And guys, that goes for anything. If I get the service that I'm supposed to get, I have no trouble, none at all, paying the bills. If you refuse to give me the amount of service that I require and are charging me for, then I'm not going to pay the bill. Simple as that. No one should be asked to do that. So at this point, I got a little irritated and I began to raise my voice at him. And I try to keep cool, guys, and there's a lot of times where I lose my cool, especially when it comes to being cheated out of stuff. I don't believe in people cheating others out of stuff, and I feel at this point I feel like I'm being cheated out of the service that I have to pay for. And this guy is going back and forth with me. He's arguing. He's saying, "Give me a couple minutes," a few times, and by this time I've given him enough chances. I've said enough is enough. This is unacceptable, and I expect the issues to be resolved. At which point he starts crying. He starts crying, guys. He stops. He goes, I'm sorry. And I didn't even hear what was said. And my wife is on the phone on the other end, sitting there. She had to move the phone away from him or away from her mouth because she started laughing. She started straight up laughing, and I thought it was results of him just not like doing his job or the company screwing me over. In which case, I later found out after the entire thing, which he apparently his aunt died or something, and I'm a sympathetic person.
Supposedly.
He okay, that's right. And my wife's very, which is my wife's usually a very sympathetic person, and she's kind of like she's kind of questioning. She's kind of skeptical of if his aunt actually died, or if he just got overwhelmed with my yelling and he started crying.
Would you
Or
have gone to work the next day if your aunt had just died?
well, I don't know if he just okay. So my wife's question: if you guys had a death in the family, would you go to work the next day? And she's saying she wouldn't have. I probably would not have, just because I don't want it to affect the job that I'm supposed to be doing. Well, regardless, if his aunt died, if I just got under his skin, he started crying, and I've been to that point where I've been so overwhelmed to where I almost broke down and not cried, but I almost broke down and gave up. And I didn't. I've been in that situation. When you're in that situation, it's hard to get out of it. So at that point, I kind of said, you know what? I'm gonna loosen up a little bit. I'm gonna rein in rage sag, and I'm gonna bring in sympathetic sag. Maybe this will help us out. I was like, I'm not getting mad, and I told the guy, I was like, I'm not getting mad at you. I'm not getting mad at you personally. It's not your doing. I just want this fixed because I just want you to understand what I'm going through. At which point he kind of got himself together. He started kind of working himself back up to be calm, collected, and he said, I have to go. And I don't know if he was a trainee. I don't know if he just started what, but he had to ask his supervisor basically every question that I asked or that he needed help with, because he would go to a supervisor, then come back and explain to me, and then go back to a supervisor and come back. Which my wife said, let me just, she asked to just transfer us to the supervisor to cut out the middle person. And I said, you know what? no, it's okay because this guy's actually trying to help. It's going to look as though he might not get us to where we need to be, but he's going through every single solution that he can see and go from there. So SAG kind of broke. He didn't break me down, but I got a little sympathetic. Maybe I'm getting a little soft in my old age. Maybe it might be because I'm liking my new job. I don't know. But I was sympathetic. I kind of took it easy on the guy afterwards. And I even thanked him for his help. He said, we have exhausted all of our possible solutions. I'm going to transfer you to a higher department. Why didn't you just transfer me to the higher department in the first place? You already knew you couldn't do it. Just transfer the guys to the highest place they need to be to get it done. Don't say, well, let's leave it to the lower person to get all the issues. By the time they get to us, they're exhausted. No, just transfer us to a higher department. We are now on 1 hour of phone conversations, over 60 minutes now. So, with that being said, let's transfer it over to part 2 of 1. So, all right, welcome back. Story time, or excuse me, the scariest story of all time with customer service at Comcast. Okay, so where we left off before, if you just joined in, if you fast forward a little bit, we talked to whatever the guy's name was who broke down and cried, and we didn't get anywhere with any solutions. We're still at a 3 download. So now we had to wait. We had to be on hold for them to get us to the higher department to talk, and brought in, quote unquote, Dwayne into the conversation. Dwayne was a nice guy. Dwayne was happy he was there on Saturday. He seemed to me like he knew what he was doing. But this is 10 minutes after being on hold and an hour after being talking with whoever it was that was before him. So he had to verify the issue. We brought him in on a conference. On conference, the guy left. He said, bye, this guy's your problem now. And now it's with Dwayne. What's up, Dwayne? If you're here talking, I appreciate our talk on Saturday. But he verified the issue with me. He understood what I was saying to him. He understood what was going on. He told me that I shouldn't be dealing with this, that he was sorry. I understand that they have to say they're sorry. I'd rather get a solution than them being sorry. You get what I'm saying at this point? And I'm not being rage saggy yet with Dwayne. And Dwayne kept a calm demeanor, so I kept a calm demeanor. Well, now Dwayne, after all these tests that the guy before him did, he understood that and I understand he had to go through the same test. He came back and he goes, yeah, I'm seeing that your gateway, that your modem is showing a low connection speed. I kind of already knew that, but yeah. Yeah, thanks, Dwayne. So he said that, and I told him that, I already knew the low connection speed because I've been testing the speeds of my computer. And I told him, he asked for the website that I was doing, and I told him that was a third party at speedtest.net. And he goes, well, we have a preferred site that we'd rather you do a speed check on, but me being the skeptical person that I am, they're going to give me a site that belongs to them. They're going to give me better readings that most likely is going to give me. So I said, you know what? I'll do that, and I'll do the speed test. So he tells me this the website, which was a speed test beta. Would you really prefer a beta test that isn't even fully given to us, Xfinity? Apparently you would. So speedtestbeta.xfinity.com, and then of course I use my speedtest.net. So, me being the person that I am, I was very skeptical of the thing that they gave me. So I did both. I ran both at the same time. Well, the beta that Xfinity wanted us to use gave us a 55 ms ping, and it gave us stated it was a 9.0 download, and it couldn't even do an upload because it said error. Well, with that being said, the same reading, the same check, gave me a 3.26 and a 0.97 of upload, a 3.26 of download, and a 17 ping. Do you see where the skepticism pays off at times? So guys, if you ever get someone saying that they'd rather you do this, always check it with someone else. Always do a third party check to where it's not, it wasn't like sponsored by Xfinity. Speedtest.net is not sponsored by Xfinity. It's a third party. It doesn't matter. It's not going to give you a upped answer because it says, well, I don't care what kind of internet you're using. We're not going to boost your answers because they wanted us boosted. Not saying that's what Xfinity does, but I'm just saying I'm very skeptical of using a website developed by the people that's kind of screwing me over at this point. So now Dwayne asks the questions I've never been asked. So it's pretty straightforward, obvious answers if it's going to get in your way or not. And he asks where it's placed in the house, whether it's on the floor, on the shelf, on the table, what it may be, if there's any electrical devices running interference. And I asked it's like, well, it's been in the same place, so is that really going to make a difference? And he goes, well, I have to ask because it can. Certain things will cause electrical interferences, but if you said that it's been there for over a year or more, then it's not going to have that kind of impact. And I told him that it's been there the entire time that I've lived here. So and he's like, well, if you've gotten the reading before and it's been fine, then it's not going to be impacting your stuff. So I said, okay. So we did a straight reboot, as he said, or a factory reboot of the gateway. Everything was 100% taken down. They reset it right then and there. So we had the possibility of getting disconnected. And I swear to goodness, the one person that has helped me out of the Friday night, Saturday morning, the one person that can help me, and we're at about 1:30 at this point. Reset. Did we get, what was the result? The results were the same. They were the same. 3 lights at the top being fine. The 2 were blinking. I said, you know what? I get it. Wasn't really expecting much anyway. So we did a speed test again, and he's telling me, and now Dwayne is telling me that, hey, there's a bad signal on this thing. There's a bad signal on this gateway. And I'm like, Dwayne, what do you mean? Bad signal? He goes, well, I'm just getting a low signal. And he's like, you know what? I tell you what, my stuff's giving me issues now. Let me run a ping test. Let me run everything. So he had to do a ping test on his own equipment that's giving me technical support. Well, Dwayne, I hate to break it to you now looking back at it, but don't you think that stuff should be running if you're going to help give support to someone that's having trouble as is? There's one thing that Dwayne did tell me. There was a wave, a quote-unquote wave that he could see impacting the interference of my signal every 2 to 3 days. Doesn't know what it was. It had to be an outside source, but it's harboring the signal when it comes from them to us and vice versa, from us to them to us. We did another speed test. Same results. It wouldn't even do the upload speed for Xfinity, but this time we got a little bit more. We got 12 out of a 105. So at this time, Dwayne, I'm still doing both now. I'm still getting the 3.5 whatever download and a 0.97 upload for speed test, and the one they gave us, I'm getting a little bit higher. Dwayne at this time tells us, you know what, you're right. You shouldn't have to pay for something that you should get. You are paying for these services. You should get this. I'm trying to help as much as I can to get you to where you should be. And I'm respectful of that because he's trying to do his job the right way. He's trying to help us as much as possible. So, waiting for the second reset. Had to do it all over. See if something could be changed by doing the same thing. I'm going to take a second and let you guys. Let me ask you a question. Do you think anything changed? Do you think it? I mean, you can pause the video and write down, Well, say I got the second question you ask. We're going to say no. And I would say you are correct because nothing changed. Sorry, Dwayne. You did the same thing. Didn't change. So now, while this was happening, though, it was taking a good 15 minutes to reboot. Dwayne heard Goober barking, and guys, of course, no Goober's gonna bark because that's what she does. She's a dog. She is very protective of this house and my wife and I, and she just doesn't like people walking around the fence and saying, you know what? This is my area. This is my Alamo. I'm gonna protect it as much as I can. So she's going off barking. Dwayne goes, oh, I hear you have a dog. What kind is it? I was like, well, Dwayne, it's a Boston Terrier. Name's Goober. He goes, I love dogs. Unfortunately, my golden retriever died a couple months back. I'm like, what? Apparently, Dwayne's about to be my best friend. We're about to write a country song together about Dwayne's golden retriever. I'm sympathetic towards dogs, and I felt sorry for Dwayne because that sucks. You know, pets to some people are part of their family. I know Goober is. But then, not only is Dwayne a dog person, Dwayne apparently is a cat person too. Now here's where we have to cut the line off. Here's where I went from calm sag to rage sag, and I'm like, cats? Cats? But no, in all seriousness though, Dwayne was a really cool guy. He was telling us about his cat. My wife was telling him how we don't like cats just because of their attitudes. She hated cats because of their attitudes, because of their personas. That cats are just not the kind of like animals we are. Like, we're definitely not a cat house. We will never be a cat house. So we talked about pets, we talked about Saturday, and Dwayne apologized, and basically the thing, we ran one more test after it finally came up, same results. And so finally the basic solution that he gave us was that something's interfering with us every 2 to 3 days. The modem itself has a bad or low signal and will not work the correct way, that we need to take the modem back and get a replacement one and plug it in. This will be fine. It should stop everything that we did there. Well, and guys, I had to ask this question because the last time we replaced the modem, first thing they did, they gave us a bad refurbished modem, and we had to go back the same day to get 2 different refurbished models. So I had to ask if so be it, if this was the last kind of solution that he could give us other than sending out a technician himself. And he said, well, sending out a technician may be the wires, but they might charge you a technician fee for coming out. It might be whenever they decide to come out. So I can't take time off. So the best solution he gave us was to replace the modem and come back. If it's that, it's that. It happens sometimes. But with that being said, Dwayne did his job. But we're on 2 hours now, approaching 2 hours of a phone call that started at 9:45, 10 o'clock. And now we're already past noon. He goes, well, is there anything else I can help you with other than the new modem? I said, yeah, can you turn us to billing? Because we've checked our billing and it showed $45 for unlimited voice, where we don't even own a house phone and we're paying for internet too. And I understand that certain bundles make you pay a certain amount for certain things, but we were on the phone call with billing on the way to Comcast to sit there in line. And so they don't allow you to make a phone call inside of Comcast building because it's such a small building and people won't be able to hear stuff. So I told my wife she's going to stand in the car with Debbie or whoever the heck it was from billing and deal with that while I get a replacement modem. Well, guys, Comcast closes at 1 o'clock. I roll up at 12:20 and there's a line out the door. I go, oh no. No internet for the weekend. Ah! But no. I go in, I grab a number, I start talking with the people around me, asking what their issues were, just to see if they were in the same boat, just to talk, whatever. My wife's still in the car. I go in, I step inside before 1 o'clock because I know that if I'm not inside by 1 o'clock, they're not going to help me. What you do is, guys, even if you arrive in at like 12:40, run in, grab a number, stay inside. Don't come back out because they'll close the door on you. They can't refuse service if you're inside. So with that being said, I go inside, I wait my turn. Finally comes up to me. She's like, well, actually there's about 3 people in front of me. She goes, okay, real quick, is anyone just turning in something? Everybody looks around. No, no turn-ins. And she goes, is anyone exchanging for the same thing? I go, I am. And she goes, what do you need? I was like, I need a modem. So she's sitting there typing. I give her my modem that I have with the power cord, and I ask, I go, excuse me, ma'am, is there any way I can get a new model or a new modem fresh out the box? Because, and she goes, no, I'm sorry. These are all refurbished models. That's all they give us that we can give out. Blah blah blah. And I go, yeah, oh, that's fine. I understand. She even said in the back, there's no new models. That's all they have from the company, which I understand. I get it. And I explained to her the only reason I asked is because last time we had to exchange it, they gave us a modem that didn't work, and we had to come back, and it would have been closed by the time we got back. So figured out that there's one like 15 miles down the road that stays open till 7. So in case this is the worst case scenario, I can go there. So get that. She was the lady there. I think her name was it started with an A. Don't know anything else. So Miss A, the assistant manager there. Good job. Good job. And if you haven't followed, we're about 5 different people right now. We got 2 thumbs up for. We got 2 thumbs up, like 1 thumb up for 2 people out of 5. 2 out of 5. That's a 40%. That's failing rate right now in my classroom. So I get out in the car, and the lady goes. My wife apparently was talking to her well within the time I was waiting. And the lady said that she can just drop the voice and keep us at 105 download and a 20 upload for $45. And I repeat it, and I'm like, did you make sure you asked the same thing? And my wife started getting irritated with me because 105 for $45 is not like that. That's not comprehensive. Like that's not comprehensive to me. That doesn't make sense. There's something there, and my wife goes, "No, I asked her multiple times the same question that you're asking me, and she said our internet would not change. That they're just taking out the voice." And I go, I was still skeptical, but my wife, she knows how to handle herself. She knows the right questions to ask. So you know what? I believe in her. So we go to Chipotle. I'm in love with Chipotle. Yeah. We go to Chipotle. We come down and eat. While we're waiting, we plug in the modem. We knew it'd take a couple minutes, but we plugged in the modem, and we were able to hook up to Xfinity. Not the network that we're supposed to hook up to. Just like a random Xfinity that we can get while waiting. So we're watching a movie. Eating our Chipotle, and we finish up, and I say, you know what? It's time to get going. We need to get this internet finished and situated. No activation number to call, no activation pamphlet or like sign up thing to follow to do it. I just plugged it in. Nothing was working. I said, you know what? Let me try it. So I called. Nothing was working, so I had to call. I was finishing up activation with the lady on the phone. So, guys, we're on now phone call number 2. This is at 12:30, 1 o'clock at this point. So the lady that answers. All right, phone call number 2. There's a woman that answers that had a very thick accent where my wife and I couldn't hardly understand. We understand that certain people's accents are thick. We get it. But if I can't understand what I need to understand in order to fix a problem, I'm gonna need to transfer because no offense to you, I just can't understand you. If I can't understand you, we're both gonna be on the wrong page of each other. So we stated that the modem or the gateway was not fully activated and there was no number or anything to help us. So the representative asked us like, would you like to finish the activation process? And I go, well, don't we kind of have to in order to use it? And she's like, yeah. So I was like, oh, I wonder. Do you want me to finish? Yeah, it's time to finish it. Let's go. So I was like, I was thinking to myself, what, you think I don't have anything to do this weekend that I just want to call you and hang out and talk? So, no, sorry, I got my wife. Sorry, I'm not looking for a date with a call center person from wherever the hell you're located right now. No, sorry. I would like to enjoy a nice day with my wife watching a movie, possibly. So, with that being said, we tried to put it on. She was telling me she was doing all this stuff, activating it, whatever. And comes to find out, she goes, you know what? I can't. She goes, what you're asking, we activated it, and then I ran a speed test before anything was done because I'm not getting off the phone until I get everything situated. Ran a speed test. Guess what? It's still at a 3 download and a 0.96 upload. This is after we've picked a Wi-Fi name, the Wi-Fi password, and she goes, first of all, she couldn't understand what we wanted for our Wi-Fi, so we had to do it like capital blank, lowercase blank. We had to spell it out, numbers and letters, and we had to do the same thing with our password. And she was like, and she was saying the wrong password multiple times. Where we're like, no, a B instead of a D. She goes, what? Like, she was like one of those white girls from wherever she was at. So finally, we get to where we need to be. She goes, uh-oh. What? Wait, what do you mean, uh-oh? I don't want to hear uh-oh, because we've already done for 4 hours now. That it took an hour just to get a replacement modem. So we're at 3.5 now. I'm calling you. We're starting to get into 4 hours, guys. 4. She goes, yeah, I need to transfer you to someone to finish. I go, okay, transfer. Just transfer us. She transferred us after not being able to do it. She can't do her job. She can't. So she transfers us. So we get transferred. So we, excuse me, I went back. So when we verified our information, when we verified our information, the correct account, the phone went silent. I honestly thought that they hung up on us at this point. They put us on silent. They muted themselves so that I could worry that they hung up. I don't know if this is a tactic that you don't want to be dealing with me anymore. I don't know what, but I was like, what? And so we listened and we couldn't hear anything on the back end. So I was like, hello? And she goes, oh, no, I'm here. She would unmute herself and answer and then just go right back to mute. And I'm like, I don't know if they're hanging up on me. I don't know what's going on. But at this point, if they hung up on me, service is canceled. We were researching other services. Well, no one should spend the weekend. And I wrote here, sorry, excuse me, I'm reading the note. I said, by this time, if we get hung up on, I'm about to cancel the service and just go to another company because no one should have to spend their weekend or free time talking to a company for multiple hours. For the people who have been in this situation, and again, I told you guys earlier, for you guys that have dealt with customer service with Comcast or dealt with technicians, you can relate. You know my pain. You know my anger. You know my feelings at this point. I'm second guessing whether we should have just agreed to a technician to come out. But the reason why I said no technicians is because everyone knows that you say you'll send a technician out. Well, it was January 14th. Technician ain't gonna get here till May. I'm not going 4 months like this. So we got months, if not years, in advance. I mean, it sucks. So finally send it up. Finally get everything involved. And we were like, well, we thought that your coworker did this, but apparently she didn't. She goes, yeah, I don't know what she did. She didn't set you up the correct way. This is setting you up the correct way. Still with a thick accent, but at least I can understand her a little bit better. So she goes, yeah, she didn't do this. We're set up. Check and see. The problem didn't go anywhere, boy. The problem did not go anywhere. I said, hold on, I'm checking the speed. Speed is still at a 3.9 download and a 0.96 upload. Just gotta take a silence to see how ridiculous this thing really is. Even after reading my notes and telling you guys the story, this is a little ridiculous. I really feel at this point they're laughing at us and just giving us a hard time just because. Kind of like on the South Park episode when the guy was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." But yeah. So at this rate, I basically tell him if you cannot fix the problem, we need to just cancel everything. We need to just go to a higher, either cancel it or go to a higher department as earlier with Dwayne to get this fixed. She goes, okay, give me 1 minute. I go, I sit in silence for about 2 minutes. I go, excuse me, how are we doing here? How's the process coming along? Are we, yes, sir, just give me another moment. Yeah, hello. So I'm patiently waiting, but I'm irritated at this point. She's gotten back to rage sag. We had sympathetic sag, we had chill sag, now we're at rage sag again. And when I get mad, I don't talk, I yell. I get red in the face, I throw a lot of emotion out there, and guys, guess what? When you're not giving me the service that I need and the help that I need, we need to go either above your head to find a solution or just find a solution together. I told her if she cannot fix the problem, she needs to transfer me to a higher department so that I don't spend all day, which already going towards hour 5 now. Already hour 5. She goes, let me run a few more tests to see if I can get it to where you like, meaning the download speed and upload speed. At which point my wife goes, get it to where we like? No, get it to where it's supposed to be. And I'm 100% on board with her because we are paying for a service that gives us 105 download and 20 upload. I get that's with hardware, but you should get at least 3/4 of it, if not half. And we're not even getting 1/20th of it. Not a half, a 20th of it. So I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're going to just do, I'm like, and again, I go with her with the whole pay thing. That's not 1/20th. So you're not going to accept $5 on this bill. So let's get to where it needs to be. Yes, sir. I'm so sorry. So sorry. So sorry. So she wants to do a diagnostic again. Still, same diagnostics we've already done with the one before her. We've already ran the diagnostic already with her. The same thing happens, the same results. Have you guys ever looked up the definition of crazy or ever heard of the definition of crazy? For me, and it makes sense to me, the definition of crazy is doing the same thing over and over and over with nothing changing and getting and expecting a different result. They expected that nothing has changed. They have done nothing differently and expected it to work just like that. Like, I'm sorry. That's right. Refreshing me about the 100th time will get us to working where we need to be. You're right. No. Okay. So, this point, so yeah, that's right. Sorry. Getting to this part. And this is where I'm irritated too. At this point, when dealing with her, she started, while she was doing the reset and all the tests that she was doing, she was putting the phone down saying goodbye to her coworkers. Have a good weekend. What are you guys up to? She was having a regular conversation with her friends at work instead of doing the job that she needs to be when we've already been on the phone for 2 hours on this phone call and we already told her about the 3 hours on the previous phone call. 5 hours? I don't think I'm ever going to go through that again. So with that being said, we already knew. We came to the conclusion that we both know both sides. I knew she wasn't going to be able to fix it. She probably knew that she wasn't going to be able to fix it, which is why she started talking to her coworkers. My wife's over here getting frustrated. I'm already frustrated. And she goes, "Oh, you know what? You know what? I need to be transferred." transferred. Let me warm up because you guys won't believe it. Now, Linda is our new person that we transferred to, and she goes, and I'm telling her the grief. I'm telling her that we're expecting this. We get 105 download, 20 upload. We pay for this, blah 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 blah. And Linda heard my entire story without saying a word. She was understanding of it, and she goes, "I don't know why they sent you to my department. This is the wrong department." If you guys are shaking your head or crying at this point, understand that I'm in the same boat now because my mind has been blown. My mind is just gone as to why the fuck they would send us to the wrong department because now I think they're fucking with me. And the next person they give us better be able to fucking talk to us and answer our questions because if not, I'm going to be out on the street in an insane asylum somewhere to where I can get all of this frustration out. So, guess what, Linda? Back over here or wherever direction you need a boop, 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 boop. I don't know how many people this is, guys. You can keep on. I'm thinking 7 or 8 now, but we're going to Matthew now. What's up, Matthew? Matthew's like, hey, I need your account number. I don't know about you guys, but I don't keep my account number handy. This is the first time I've ever been asked my account number. I go, yeah, I don't have that information to give you. I can verify whatever you need. So we go back and forth, and finally we verify that it's me by both stating my name, my address, the last 4 of my social security, and the wrong information came up. Well, after verifying, same stuff, whatever. Refresh signal. Well, Matthew, guess what? We've already done that. Refresh signal, we've already done. You're the technician. You're the higher up technician. We've already done it. And he goes, well, I got to do it. Just give me a second. I got to run some tests. I have to do this and put it in the file. My question is, you for Comcast, if you guys ever call, it says, please be advised your call may be monitored for whatever purposes. If my call is monitored, do you think the notes that are put into my file need to be updated or whatever? So he said, yeah, give me a second. I said, yeah, this is an hour and a half for my second call. We're now at 5.5 hours, guys. He says, well, just a heads up, is this the best number to call you at if it gets disconnected? I said yes. And disconnection. After an hour and a half of being on the phone for the second time, 5.5 hours in, disconnected. I'm going to have to restart. My head is like, I have to restart now. There's nothing I can do now to not be like, I have to restart. We got disconnected. Oh, Comcast calls. Matthew actually had the fortitude to call us back. Matthew's like, sir, I'm so sorry that we got disconnected. I don't want you to feel that we just hung up on you. We are going to get this solution together. Matthew, thank you for doing it, but no offense, you're still wanting to do the same test. And I explained to him we've already done these tests multiple times. We ran the same thing over and over. It does something. He goes, okay, sir, give me a minute. Does the same thing. Does the same exact test. Gets the same exact results. Guys, we are still at 3.5 download, a 0.97 upload. This is getting us nowhere. I'm beginning to get gray hairs just from this phone call. Yeah. He asked if we were able to connect. Same thing, Matthew. Well, I'm going to check on the account. I have a sneaking suspicion of something. Okay, Matthew, check the account. Well, now, after talking to the lady, we now have the economy plan, which is $45. And it's supposed to be 3 Mbps download and a 1 upload. this is when I kind of exploded on Matthew, because I go, hey, excuse me, Matthew, we have a what? And he goes, well, it says here you don't have any phone, you just got internet, but it's going to be for $3 and it's $45. I go, no. Now is the problem where you're going to have me really upset. And I know it's not your doing, but after being in the phone, or excuse me, being in the car while waiting on me, the lady that my wife was talking about downgraded our service without us authorizing anything. She downgraded the service. She said, yeah, you can still have the 105 download and 20 upload for $45. But no, she downgrades it and doesn't do it without my authorization, which is in terms, is a breach of contract, is not something we agreed to. That, my friends, can lead towards lawsuits. And I explained this to Matthew, and he goes, I tell you what, let me go back. There's a couple files on your thing. Let me see if I can go back and see who said what when. I was like, okay, well, you need to, because we didn't agree to it. I know my wife wouldn't have. So he goes back a couple minutes. He says, well, unfortunately, we can't find that file or the sound file or whatever file that they keep talking about back and forth between representative and us. And I'm like, go figure. I wonder why you can't find it, because it helps us say that you guys are ripping us off. Sorry, but you know it would. It's kind of coincidental. I'm kind of skeptical as to you not being able to find something that helps us out. Sorry, Matthew. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm calling the company kind of sketchy. So with that being said, what? Like, what? Is the world against us now? So he transferred me to his supervisor that I'm already upset about, guys. I'm frankly stating I'm pissed, beyond pissed right now. So after that conversation, we get a lady who's so rude and obnoxious. It's not even funny, because she goes, yeah, and I'm yelling at her. I'm like, yo, look, you need to listen, because this is what we're explaining. Yeah. Not getting anywhere with her. I'm like, yeah, you need to go ahead and put me to the higher department than you, because you don't know what you're doing. You're not listening to what we have to say. You're not even helping us. So I don't want to hear it. And she goes, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm sorry that you're experiencing. I'm like, I don't need a sorry from you, because you're rude. You're not, like, I can be rude. I'm the customer. I don't mean to be. But after 6 hours, guys, I'm pretty sure everyone would be rude, trying to get the same result fixed after one thing. I'm rude. I'm not going to lie now. I'm rude. I'm not trying to be nice. They're not working with me. I'm not going to work with them. So with that being said, it's time to be mean. So she's being rude. She's not helping us. She's not even listening to what I have to say anymore. And by this time, I'm about to give up. About to hang up on her. About to give up. I go, yeah, I'm not. I was like, listen, lady, I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm not going to even, I'm not going to answer any questions you have. I don't want you working on any of my stuff. I want you to transfer me to someone who can answer my questions. Simple as that. She's not listening that we didn't authorize the plan. She just sees what our plan is and what we pay. So I go, listen, again, I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to deal with you. Transfer me to someone who understands the issue and can fix it. And she goes, okay, I will transfer you to someone else. I go, good. I was like, I don't want to hear anything from you. You're rude. You're not even listening to me. You're actually making things worse. So don't say you're sorry. Don't say thank you. Just don't say a word and transfer me. Okay, sir, I'm sorry that... I'm like, nope, not listen. I was like, transfer me now. And so, last person. We're on person 11 or 12. We're in 2 hours on just strictly this phone call. That's plus the 3.5, 4 hours earlier. Now it's Misty. Misty actually sounds like she's from the U.S. And again, if you're not from the U.S., that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. She at least sounds like she understands a little bit more of the problem that I'm giving her. And I'm already pissed off. So I'm not treating Misty nice right now. I'm upset. The lady hangs up. It's just me and Misty. It's a 1v1 situation, and I'm leading off hard with the no-scope snipe across the map. So Missy's coming back at me with a little bit of attitude because I'm giving her stuff, and we're listening back and forth at each other. And we finally both stopped to finally understand each other, and she understood that we didn't authorize this, and she goes, "Oh," and then she's telling us what we're paying for, and I go, "Oh, so someone between us is screwing with us without our authorization." She goes, "Yes," and I go, "Okay, so how can we fix this? What can we do?" And she goes, and 10 people, or excuse me, no, sorry, 9 people from this phone call cannot tell me the one answer that Misty's about to give us. Misty goes, "Well, sir, because of your economy plan, we have to cut you off at 3 Mbps download." I'm like, "Okay, how can we fix it? What can we do? What will it cost? Blah, blah, blah." And she goes, "Okay, let me help you. Let me explain to you. Because we cut you off, we don't mind." She's like, "I can speed you up at any time that you choose to get a different plan." She goes, "But until you authorize that plan, I can't speed it up. All I have to do is refresh it, and it'll be able to give you this much. You are locked in at 3, but you would pull more if you get a different plan." So I go, "Okay, hypothetically speaking, I don't have to do anything except to agree to this plan." And she goes, "Yes." You hear that? She is frustrated. She's like, "Hell yeah, take the plan, right? High five." Oh yeah, she's that excited. So with that being said, she goes, "Take the plan." I'm like, "All right, so what can we do?" At this point, I'm just like, "Okay, what do we need to do?" And so Missy's doing her calculations, whatever wizardry she's doing over there, and she has heard why we're upset. She finally understands. I told her the whole spill about the 2 different phone calls for multiple hours. She goes, "Oh my god, I am so sorry." This is the one person who understands that. She probably understands that she doesn't want to deal with this stuff on her time off, so we shouldn't either. She explained to us, well, she looked through some stuff and she goes, "Well, at 105, you would be paying this much, and only just the internet would be that much. But what I can do for you is I see that there's a package here that runs 75 Mbps, which is a little lower. And on top of that, it can bundle in with your TV, get you some more channels. Because, guys, my TV, my cable comes strictly through the HOA, so I don't have to pay for it. But getting more channels, well, I can pay for it and use it." So she's like, "I can get you more channels and get you 75 download for $65 a month, plus the $10 of the rental fee for the gateway, which is the modem. Everybody has the rental fee for the modem." So she goes, "Whoa, on top of that, that's just the $60. What I can do to you here is give you a boost of not only the 75 Mbps, I can give you a boost of 30 more, or excuse me, up to, the boost was up to 150. So we have $60, including the rental fee, including the extra channels, and we get the boost of $15 that boosted up to 150 Mbps for the same amount we would pay for 100. Yeah, I'm taking that, and it's 74. It's 70, basically $75 plus tax for the first year, and then it goes up to like $100 after that, which I'm fine with. That's fine with me. But holy crap, then Misty not only fixed our problem, explained our problem, but she gave us a better offer than what we had. A better offer, guys. We are, after all this, there's a rainbow at the end of the road, guys. And hallelujah! Hallelujah! Yeah, hallelujah! Exactly. Yes, oh, sorry, she's getting a little excited. With that being said, there's a rainbow at the end of the road. Misty showed us the way. Misty was Moses through the river. We made our way across. We're good to go, Misty. So I asked her. I had stopped, and we're all of us, my wife, myself, Misty, we're all laughing at this point because of how much crap we had to go through. And I go, "Misty, if you don't mind me asking, what is your title? What is your position?" And she just goes, "I'm just a branch associate, assistant, phone call." And I go, "That's it?" And she goes, she's laughing, and I'm like, it's not for me to be rude. I wanted to know her title. I wanted to know what you had to be in order to explain exactly what all this was. She goes, "That's it?" I go, "Misty, how is it that you're not in charge of something?" So I go, how is it that you're not in charge of someone? How is it that out of 9 people that I've had this phone call with, 3 hours now and 3 hours before and 1 hour at the thing, how is it that you're the one person that's able to understand, not only explain what's going on, to fix it and all that? And she goes, I don't know, but I'm happy to help you now. I'm glad that we're getting under a solution now. So at that point, she's like the savior of the day. I'm getting a better deal than what I was. I'm happy because I did the speed, and the speed is like at a 100 Mbps of a download and 23 or 25 upload by just wireless, guys. I'm getting better than what I had, better deal. And guys, basically what I'm saying is that you should get what you pay for. You shouldn't have to settle for less. You should get this. If you pay for a service that is provided, they should provide you that service that you pay for. That being said, it was a nightmare. I wasted 7 hours out of a 24-hour day dealing with Comcast on a Saturday. At least it's working now. I've been going on this rant for however long now. But one thing just to top the cake. I started putting out on Twitter, I put Comcast and Xfinity on blast. And I was like, you know what? How is it that I dealt with 7 hours, 12 different people, and one person helped me? And I was like, thank you, Misty, whoever he is. And actually, guys, I'm going to put it right here so you can read that tweet. And then I wake up and then Comcast gives me this. And then my reply to that is, no, I'm not thanking you. Don't say you're welcome because you didn't help me. The only person that should be thanking me or welcoming me would be Misty. So I did this. Boop. And then they were like, well, we're sorry to hear that. We're sorry that you're upset. Is there anything else we can help you with? Just get in my DMs. And sorry, Comcast, I'm not sliding in your DMs anytime soon. In fact, I'm going to tell everybody to retreat because I don't know what kind of infested stuff is in your DMs. But hey, you guys suck. Your system sucks. You need to get a better person. I'm not saying every employee sucks because there was two people out of the entire 12 to 13 people that we dealt with in 7 hours that helped us. For those people, Dwayne and also Misty, thank you guys because you guys did it all for us. You guys did beyond your thing. I appreciate what you did. And not only that, but I got to watch the Falcons win the game against Seattle for the the conference playoffs, NFL playoffs, to go play the winner of Dallas and Green Bay. So I got to watch the Falcons win. I got whatever I needed done in a better opportunity, a better service than what I had, and I got to blast Comcast Cares on Twitter. I mean, all in all, Saturday sucked. It was a nightmare. It was tough. If you made it all this way, guys, I appreciate you listening to my story. If you guys had to endure anything similar to this at all, right below what you had to deal with, your worst things, we hold the record in our family for dealing with this crap, and whatever it happens, no one can say that they had a worse time or worse experience. With that being said, I'm not trying to put Comcast on blast or whatever you guys call it nowadays. I'm not trying to give Comcast grief because, I'm not trying to deliberately say don't do it. Now I'm happy with Comcast. I'm 100% happy with the deal that I got because it's working, because I was helped, and because it was working and it was changed and authorized through what I wanted. I'm happy. With that being said, when it wasn't and when it wasn't working to the ability, I was upset. 100% upset with it. So, moral of the story, if you're a business and you give the people, if you are charging people for a certain amount of service and they are paying you for that service, give them the service that they are paying for. Otherwise, you get experiences like mine and like many of the others that are out there. I don't even know anyone. I'm not going to go online and look for the horror stories, but guys, that was my horror story. That was my tough. And I appreciate you guys hearing my rant. I appreciate you guys watching this. If you're here already all the way to the end, much love to you. But with that being said, guys, it is Sunday. This is going up tomorrow, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Have had a better weekend than me. But I'm done with the rant. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did. Comment if you want. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll catch you guys in a day or two. So, see ya.